company, you're growing, and maybe you sold a company. How many folks are investors or mentors? Fantastic. So we got a really good mix of people here this evening. I love what Startup Valley stands for. They stand for the whole entrepreneurial stack. And they stand for really driving organic entrepreneurial ecosystem development by entrepreneurs. So it's absolutely fantastic to see everyone in this room who are aspiring, who are seasoned, folks that are investors and mentors as well. So I'm not presenting a company this evening. My name is Dave DeSalt, and I'm an industrial entrepreneur. I worked at General Electric for a number of years, and I left GE and started my own companies about 9 years ago. We have about 100 employees here locally in the capital region. We do a lot of business in the oil and gas and power generation businesses, and high-tech engineering and manufacturing. And about 2 years ago, I shifted my life pretty considerably to more the investment side of early-stage companies. So I fell in love with entrepreneurship very early on in my life, and it's something that I want to dedicate the rest of my life to help build an entrepreneurial ecosystem in upstate New York. And I believe that that's done through mentorship, through investing, through looking at all these inspiring entrepreneurs in the crowd tonight, and helping you folks get on the path to success. So I'm going to talk a little about UNY50, which is an initiative that was started a couple of years ago. It's something I'm really, really involved here locally and across New York State. So about 15 years ago, a gentleman named Martin Babinek, I'm sure a lot of people here know him, moved back to New York State from Silicon Valley. He started his company in 1989. He grew that company pretty considerably. And then he wanted to move back to upstate to Little Falls, New York, because he wanted to commit his life to building a very similar ecosystem in upstate New York that existed in Silicon Valley, Northern California. And so when he came up with an idea, it was called UNY50. UNY50 is a peer-to-peer network that exists to plug high-value entrepreneurs and investors into the startup communities across upstate New York. So we subscribe to Brad Feld's book, Startup Communities. Who's read that book, or who's familiar with that book? Brad Feld contends that a really vibrant startup community has clusters of innovation going on. So people are really commercializing technologies, innovating, R&D, a lot of good clusters of innovation and other activity going on. He says that network effects take place in vibrant startup communities, where common inputs to companies become a lot cheaper, so these companies accumulate around these common inputs to go grow and build their companies in a very efficient way. He believes that there's a free exchange of ideas. We live in a very, very siloed community in upstate New York, which is not a dig, it's just a fact of life. And one of the things that we're passionate about is helping generate the free flow exchange of ideas and letting companies work with one another to build their companies and change industries. The fourth is to be a place where the creative class wants to live. So if you look at these four elements of a startup community, a vibrant startup community, we have all of these things in upstate New York. So Martin, when he came up with the concept of UNY50, he said, we want to be able to take entrepreneurs and successful investors and mentors, and we want to plug them into the startup community across upstate New York so they can help generate startup activity at a scale that hasn't existed before. So UNY50 comes out of an organization called Upstate Venture Connect. This is one of the organizations that Martin invested in and started several years ago. Jonathan Grudka, who's here this evening, works for UBC. Nasser Ali out of Syracuse is the executive director. And the three things that they focus on is building startup communities, measuring ecosystem growth, and celebrating our achievements. They're focused on resourcing entrepreneurs. So all of you are aspiring entrepreneurs in the group this evening. If you want to start a company and build a company, UBC is a great resource for you. They're statewide, they're well-funded, they've got great connections. UNY50 was birthed out of UBC because Martin wanted to take 50 entrepreneurs and investors across the whole upstate region and give them access to the startup communities. He wanted us to have investment opportunities so we could curate deal flow and share ideas from Rochester to Albany to Schenectady to Binghamton to Syracuse. And he also wanted to make visible all the wonderful activities that are happening in upstate New York to this group of people. So about a month ago, I was in Rochester, New York. I visited a company called Sidor Instruments, which was an amazing startup company that did some spectacular work for the defense industry. And then we took a tour of the laser lab at the University of Rochester. And the laser lab, has anyone been to the laser lab at the University of Rochester? One of the greatest gems in upstate New York. These folks are busy 365 days a year. Governments and companies and academic institutions from around the globe come to Rochester every year to use the laser lab. And that's an example of making visible the amazing resources and activities that we have in upstate New York. So the map doesn't come out of this very well. I should have known that, knowing the lights were here. This is a map of upstate New York. And we have a simple message as UNY50. We believe that upstate New York can rival areas like Silicon Valley, Boulder, Colorado, Boston, Massachusetts. We believe that we have the intellectual capital. We believe that we have the academic institutions. We believe we have the aspirations of young people who want to start companies and grow and thrive in these communities. And we believe that we can make connections from Rochester to Buffalo to Syracuse to Albany to Rhinebeck, New York, and connect like-minded people who want to invest in this over the long term. So we believe. What does UNY50 do? Why are we involved in the startup community of upstate New York? Simple. We want to build the stacks. What are the stacks? There's aspiring entrepreneurs. This is something that Startup Tech Valley believes in a very strong way. Seasoned entrepreneurs, and there's investors and mentors, and there's this kind of this cycle that takes place, right? You start your company, hopefully you develop some skill sets, maybe you exit it, maybe you don't, but you can give back to a community. And we believe that if we can take the investors, mentors, and seasoned entrepreneurs across the upstate region and connect them with aspiring entrepreneurs through mentorship and investment, that we can help grow these stacks and just cycle this thing through over the long term. And the more aspiring entrepreneurs we can help turn into seasoned entrepreneurs and investors and mentors, that cycle will continue for a very long time. And that's how we believe in building up upstate New York and making it a vibrant startup community. Again, some of the things aren't showing up, but UNY50 believes in a couple of simple rules. We believe in connecting in a real way through those 50 people in upstate New York. So today we had an event before this event. We went to Plug Power. John Kokosha hosted us. We took a tour of the plant. That's a very entrepreneurial business. We then had a forum meeting thereafter to talk about, hey, what are we doing right to help facilitate the upstate ecosystem, and what can we do better? And we have these events on an ongoing basis, and then we come and we share our resources and our ideas and everything else with events like this. So over here we have two tables of UNY50 folks from Rhinebeck, New York, Ithaca, New York, Rochester. We have people that are representing all different areas of upstate New York here tonight. We believe in sharing our ideas, sharing our deal flow. One of the ways UNY50 works in a very practical manner is if I have a deal or I have an opportunity to invest, and I know somebody within UNY50 network that lives in Rochester that has that capability, I can connect with them and say, hey, can you come mentor this company? Can you come take a look at this particular entrepreneur or help mentor them? We believe in giving back. One of the things that our values are in UNY50 is give before you get. So we give our time, we give our energy to help budding and aspiring entrepreneurs be successful. And we also believe in investing, and we're committed for a 20-year vision related to this. What is our vision? Our vision is to take Buffalo through Albany to Rhinebeck and to create a seamless and connected ecosystem or network, okay, through relationship capital. We believe that a bottoms-up approach to building a startup economy is essential to making upstate New York rival Silicon Valley, Boston, and other regions of the country. And this is our vision. When we joined the team, when Martin kind of visionized this at first, he said, this is a 20-year journey. This is a 20-year journey, and we're committed to that journey. And we want to help everyone in this room as best as we can with our resources to make this place vibrant. Our steering committee, several folks are here tonight. We have folks from Little Falls, New York, the capital region, Ithaca, Rochester, Syracuse, and we're only getting started. We have a very strong vision to help build this ecosystem. And what I can give tonight is, if you know folks that are very interested to giving back to this upstate ecosystem that can subscribe to our vision of a seamless and connected network across all of upstate New York, let me know. The more folks we can bring in, the more folks that we can connect with, the more folks that have resources, intellectual capital, mentorship capability. We want to connect with entrepreneurs across the whole upstate region. We want to be that runway, so folks need investment, they need mentorship, that we can connect with the right people. That's our vision. If you are an aspiring entrepreneur and you need some resources, please visit Upstate Venture Connect. This is something that I feel strongly about. It's something I'm very excited about. When Martin first came to my office about 18 months ago to talk about this, I thought it was crazy. But as I connected with people across the state and met some amazing folks who've done some unbelievable things, that has been inspiring to me, and it's something I'm willing to dedicate my life to. I'm also an investor. I'm investing in 4 companies directly, 2 angel funds. If you are an aspiring entrepreneur with an excellent idea and a good team, I'm always willing to listen. So that's my little bit. So if you'd like some advice or whatever, I'm happy to. So with that said, I just wanted to share a few moments about what UNY50 was, about what we believe in, and what we think the future looks like in upstate New York. When I look out at 300 or 400 people in this crowd tonight, I'm super excited about our future. This is an amazing group of people. With that, I'm going to introduce the first speaker this evening and the company that's presenting first, which is going to be Ilium VR. Is this Oculus Rift or? So the presenter is Sebastian Sabora. What does Ilium VR do? Ilium VR is developing a line of highly advanced virtual reality controllers and systems to revolutionize the way we physically interact with games. My 10-year-old son will never see this because he plays games way too much. So please join us.
Thank you. At Ilium VR, we envision the future of virtual reality where the physical interaction with the virtual world is as seamless as possible. And the controllers that you use to interact with the game are as similar as possible to the objects that you use in the game. Our first step towards realizing that future is developing a realistic controller for modern shooting games. We're in the middle of a virtual reality revolution. The market's pushing towards more and more realistic and immersive experiences. Products like the Oculus Rift that are revolutionizing the ways in which we are viewing virtual worlds, so much so that if you put the device on, you feel like you're actually there. The way that we're interacting with those worlds, though, specifically the controllers that we use, are lagging behind. We're moving from an age where a player doesn't want to control a person in game, they want to be that person in game. And systems like the modern gamepad or keyboard and mouse are no longer enough. Customers searching for an immersive experience don't want to press a button to perform an action, they want to perform that action themselves as realistically, intuitively as possible, and have that represented in the game. That's our goal. In our specific application of first-person shooters, the object is usually the weapon that you use. The controller needs to be physically similar to a virtual weapon and follow the player's movement as accurately as possible. Current solutions on the market don't satisfy this need for multiple reasons. The most important of which is that they are not built specifically for virtual reality. This makes them difficult to set up and clunky to play with. This is a side-by-side loop of one of those solutions. It's a player with a Wiimote controller and the world that he's interacting with. As you can see, the controller is physically pretty similar to the weapon in game. It has that physical immersion, but the motion he makes are not realistic. They're not precise. If you want to aim accurately and realistically in this game, this product will not do it. This is a demo of a device that very accurately and precisely tracks your hands for input. The player is able to make incredibly fine adjustments, even sharpshooting distant enemies, but just because he's able to have a precise interaction doesn't mean that he's physically immersed. The actions that he's doing in-game are not really representative of what's happening in the game. So, and also there's no controller that serves as a bridge between the fantasy and the reality. In terms of immersion for shooters, this isn't much better than the keyboard or the mouse. We spent over a year developing a solution that can be both physically realistic and precise. Our main innovation is the software and hardware technology that tracks the controller very accurately. This technology pairs with head-mounted displays that are on the market today, such as the Oculus Rift. This technology has applications in many different industries, whether it's military, medical, first responder training, many others like that. And our technology can introduce virtual reality into those markets. We're choosing first to specifically target consumer gaming. We've taken the technology and integrated it with a rifle controller. Actions that happen in the game, such as reloading, recoil, pulling the trigger, aiming, those are all direct result of actions that perform on the controller. This is much more immersive than key presses and buttons on a different controller because it's very intuitive. We've also developed software that allows our controller to be integrated easily into games, so that when you buy the controller, it immediately plugs and plays with your favorite games. In 2014, the global market for video games was valued at $81.7 billion. 20% of that is attributed to shooter games. Gaming accessories and hardware, such as controllers, are estimated to be $32 billion by 2015. And virtual reality as a subset of those is projected to be the fastest growing at $2.3 billion by the end of 2015. And by the end of 2018, reached $7.5 billion. This rapid growth in the market gives us a great opportunity to impact that market as much as we would like. Based on what we learned from our customer interviews that we had, we're initially targeting the average virtual reality consumer, a gamer who probably already owns an Oculus Rift or is interested in first-person shooters. They're generally young adults in the 17 to 32-year-old range with a bit of disposable income. And they usually are not very technically apt, so current solutions are very difficult for them to use and set up. We also realized that to provide an immersive experience for them, we can provide more than one physical controller. So we can provide an entire product line, whether it's pistols, shotguns, sniper rifles, bow and arrows, really any form our customers show a great demand for. Along with that, we have a great opportunity for revenue through custom controllers, including licensed content, controllers that look and feel like your favorite things from video games. Most of our customer interviews were very enthusiastic about this. They started suggesting, listing off controllers that they would buy, such as a Star Wars blaster or historical weaponry from World War II. We're going to research what are the most effective, most successful things that people like, and reach out to those companies to make them key partners. We're currently a 3-person team. Between us, we have multiple years of experience in robotics, mathematics, game design, hardware and software development, and have worked at multiple successful startups, including Prenda, VitalVO, and Nest Labs. As a team, we've been working together for multiple years, many projects. We've been finalists together at various hackathons, and we're all founders and lead organizers of Hack RPI, which was a hackathon we hosted in November, and it ended up being one of the largest and most successful hackathons in the Northeast. All of this experience has given us an incredibly wide skill set that we'll undoubtedly use to move forward. Over the past year, we've made a lot of steps towards getting our product to the market. We initially developed the technology at a hackathon, which we were chosen as the top 10 projects. Then another hackathon, we developed a rough cut of our prototype for the rifle. And since then, we've continued development on the prototype. We've recently entered multiple business model competitions. We gathered a great deal of market data and customer interviews as a result. At our first business model competition hosted by RPI, we placed 3rd and got an intellectual property award. And just this past Friday, we won 1st place in our category at the Capital District New York Business Plan Competition semifinal. Right. And important traction that we have is that we have a working prototype, and we're going to be presenting it soon on April 15th, I believe, Interactive Demo Day on RPI's campus. Our plan for the future is we're seeking to raise $60,000 by the beginning of the summer. With this, we can continue development and expanding our team. We're looking to enlist the help of product designers, engineers, and software developers to get our product from prototype to production. Then we'll be launching a Kickstarter in very early August for fundraising and marketing purposes. Kickstarter is responsible for multiple successful virtual reality startups and video games as well. And for that reason, we think it's the best platform that we could possibly use. And all of these resources will hopefully propel us forward to revolutionize virtual reality as is our vision. I'll take questions now.
So how does the player move around the environment?
The question was, how does the player move around the environment? There's a joystick. Well, there's multiple different things you can use. You can have companion products that are treadmills, virtual reality treadmills and things like that that are out. But for people who don't want to invest in that, we have a thumbstick on the side. On the side of the gun that you can easily reach while you hold it, yes. 3D printing is definitely something we want to use for our prototyping purposes. We haven't looked into how structurally it will bear out for the actual end product. The question was, why don't we just sell the grip and trigger for and make a much more scalable modular system for all the other types of guns? Potentially there's a few things about the technology that could prevent us from doing that, the way it tracks and how the entire system as a whole. But it's definitely an interesting way to go about it, I think.
Are you planning to partner with particular game makers to get started on integrating your product?
Yeah, so we've just started the process of trying to contact a bunch of video game companies to integrate with their games, and also we've written software for popular game engines such as Unity and Unreal. So it can be easily used for game developers to integrate with.
I wouldn't launch a bunch of different projects at first. I would do 3, because if you sit down with a buyer and open up a catalog of 15 games, 15 different devices, they're going to say, okay, what are your top 3? So I wouldn't do it all at once. I'd bring 1, 2, or 3 to market. But were you at PAX East? And how does there's a lot of great stuff that was on display at PAX East in Boston. What are your differences between, what's the difference between your product and some of the ones that were displayed at PAX East?
I did not go to PAX East, unfortunately. But what I can say about our product is that it has very advanced technology behind it, and also the fact that we are very interested in essentially taking the consumer input for specifically what they want us to build and making custom controllers and licensed controllers and things like that. We can provide a lot of value for the customer.
Let's give him a hand.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt Cusack. Yeah, no motion here. Is this working okay? So, I have the unhappy privilege. I want to take a moment of silence here before we go to the next team that I have to introduce. A few weeks ago, we lost a good friend and supporter of the region, Jeff Morris. And I just wondered if we could take a few seconds of silence just to remember some of the good things he brought to the region. He seemed to be virtually everywhere at the same time. I think probably most of us in this room, he's found the time to meet us for breakfast, lunch, dinner, coffee, you name it, when we needed to come. So with that, I'll shut my mouth and have a moment of silence. I don't feel like I can take too long because he would have told me I was wasting time. So with that, I want to introduce the next team, Blitz. Now, Christopher Morrison will be speaking to you. Chris is a regular underachiever at RPI, a nuclear engineer starting software, doctoral student, no less. So, with that, Chris, come on up. Blitz is a rapid learning platform that builds memory on some unique and proprietary approaches. With that,
Well, I'm going to take a few minutes to explain to you. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here during a busy day. I appreciate this community and already a lot of the advice and mentorship that I've received. So, I'm a PhD student in nuclear engineering. I got my undergrad in aerospace and computer science. I have a minor and a bunch of other things. And all of that really isn't important. What you need to take away from that is that I'm passionate about learning. I really do love to learn. I read textbooks for fun. But anymore, I don't know if anyone else has had this problem. You know, you go online and you think, oh, I really would love to learn these lines from Shakespeare. Oh, I really would love to learn French. But when am I ever going to use this? I'm just going to forget it the next time that I need to use it. So you fill your head with all these things, and then you're just going to forget them. So as a PhD student, I've unfortunately had to specialize, and I've had to put away and compartmentalize a lot of the hobbies and things that I like. And this got me thinking, along with some other experience I've had with other software companies, about education and forgetting. So forgetting, you know, there's a science to it. We've studied this quite a bit, actually.
You know, the first time you see something, you'll remember it for about 5 to 10 minutes. You don't think about it again. And as time goes on, you're going to forget it more and more, and you'll notice, for the engineers out in the audience, this is an exponential curve. So there's a special way to review things such that it stays in your mind and you have the best recall rate on them. And this is called spaced repetition. And the idea is, right when you get down to a certain retention rate, you review it again, and then you're back up, and you'll notice that the spacing between each of these is expanding. And the hope is that you reviewed something enough that at some point you'll die before you forget it. So that sounds terrible, but you know. So, you know, we've taken a lot of approaches to solving this problem in the past. Typically, it's been a flashcard. We have a piece of paper with a question. How do you do something, say something, blah, 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 and then it has an answer. You turn it over. If you got it right, you throw it out of the pile. If you got it wrong, you put it back in the pile. And you do this until you don't have a pile left. Well, with technology today, we can do something special, and that is throw away the deck and have a computer do all of this for you. So that's the beauty of technology. So just to give you a simple example, this isn't the official project, but something fun. Let's say you're an airplane enthusiast, and you want to know every airplane that ever existed. So you drag your friends, go to the airport, talk about which plane is which. Well, the goal is to come up with some questions, and they're pictures or videos or multimedia or anything that can be graded in an algorithm. And there's some answers. What is the plane? It's an F-16. Yeah, I got it right. And then there's a special algorithm that takes this bit of information and it says, you've seen it a certain amount of times, this is how well you did on it. It should come back to you in about 30 minutes for you to have like a 90% recall rate on it. So the goal is to take something like flashcards plus spaced repetition plus technology to enable hobbyists, enthusiasts to learn as much as possible in the least amount of time. So there are a number of solutions for this area already. There's competitors, but there's a few differentiators that I'd like to point out. First one is a lot of the companies out there focus on Jeopardy champions or memory grandmasters, very technical projects. And then other ones focus more on, let's have a cute, you know, owl or a cute, you know, flower on the screen. You know, children. Something that isn't really, you know, if you're, say, a Fortune 500 company, you need to teach all your employees some facts. You know, you're not going to want to use something for children. So my goal is to take the people in the middle, the average person, the enthusiast, not really the average person, but someone who's passionate about a subject, passionate enough to look it up in Google, find a page, try out the software program for a while, and they like it, they come back to it. But the real differentiation is this. Basically, Learn Blitz allows you to pick the, let's see, there's an animation here. There we go, yeah. Allows you to pick the subject that you want and drill into it, okay? So, you know, if you want to learn French, you don't want a standardized flashcard system that has German or has biology or has some other subject. You want a custom area. You know, think of yourself, maybe you're studying for the GRE or the ACT. You really, really, really want to have just that. You don't want to waste your time studying other things. So in that respect, I've selected a few target markets of my own. And that I've selected these either because of their ease of use or because of my personal interest and also possibly because of their business potential. So I'm here, partly my pitch to you is to find other people who are interested about something. I gave the example of the airplanes, but if say you're passionate about horses and you want something, horse identification or something, I'm here trying to find people who are interested in a subject enough, and I want to be the best person for you and allow you to input your information into these flashcards and quickly develop a product. So I'm here kind of as a lower level entrepreneur to help mid-level entrepreneurs succeed in their product. So this is just a little bit of a graph to show you crowdsourcing. I'd like to crowdsource content. I'd like to profit share. In other words, any dollar that it makes, maybe half of that dollar would go back to the people that are making the content. Maybe more, maybe less. So just a lot of people have seen the business model before, and value proposition is really the same across everything. It's fast, easy, free, free to try, fast and easy. The relationship is that you keep coming back to it because it works. The channel is basically Google generic search and Apple search, and there may be other opportunities, but those are basically cost-free right now, so I'm focusing on those. And the key thing here is I have a nice controller here.
that allows you to switch the subject so that you switch your customer segment based on their interests. So the secret sauce here is really the software, the backend that allows people to make these flashcards. So this is one example when I was looking at standardized tests, and just to give you an example, I found out this wasn't the one for me because there's a lot of competition out there. I conducted 100 interviews on this last semester in Dr. Kusak's class. We have a live demo, which I'd encourage you to come see later. I'll be up kind of in the front somewhere here if you're interested. We have a live website, so that's my pitch to you. I'm looking for people to help me work on it. I'm looking for ideas, mentors, advisors, and I'm especially looking for content creators. So thank you.
So is it text-based?
It's multimedia based, so it's like anyone with a web browser can come in and say you have a webcam that's easy to use, you have text, you have audio, and then there's even more advanced possibilities like say you're dancing and there's some kind of camera algorithm that grades you on your dance routine or something like that. So it's built to be flexible.
Where's your revenue come from?
The revenue comes from a premium model is what I'm focusing mostly on. There's a lot of different models based on what people are reviewing. But say you're trying to learn words for, English words for the GRE. There's an app in an iPhone. You get to try 200 words free, and then you pay like $5 or $15 to get the rest of it. So it's kind of the business model is kind of made, whichever customer segment you're dealing with that deals with them on what you think is the right business model.
Is there a revenue stream for content creators?
Yeah, I would like to basically take people and reward them very, very well. So well that they tell their friends about it. So, every dollar that's paid into the app, maybe 50 cents goes directly back to the people who created the lessons that the users are studying.
Is it all handcrafted content, or can it be applied to parts?
So part of the reason I chose Bible verses, for example, as a beginning one is because the King James Bible, the web English version, there's a lot of free content that I can spend 1 weekend scanning in, and then I have an instant product.
So is this like Quizlet, or is it an algorithm proprietary to?
The algorithm right now is based off something called SuperMemo. There's a lot of published peer-reviewed literature about it. In the end, if you get enough users, you can create really secret, cool algorithms that adapt to how people learn. So the goal would be, once we get enough users, we could actually do something very cool.
Yeah. Can you algorithms combine content on the same subject with different users?
The same subject for different users?
If different content creators work on the same subject, can you combine them?
If you mean if different content creators are working on the same area? Yeah, so the goal would be, there'd be a little bit of finesse in there, in that you don't want a million versions competing against each other. So you'd hope to find some way to get people to combine together. So say, for example, learning French. You might have a marketplace there where anyone can create French lessons, and then there's some kind of pricing fee that someone can buy French, and that money goes to the teachers based on how much their content is being used. So if they have the most used lessons, you pay those teachers more because they thought their content was better.
Let's give him a hand.
Hey everyone, Jonathan Greco with Upstate Venture Connect. Before I introduce the next team, I just wanted to echo Dave Dussault's words about this event being inspirational. I was here for the first time back in March, and kudos to Jason Kay and Kelly Reardon and whoever else is involved behind this event. Because if we can duplicate this across the rest of the thruway, down into the Hudson Valley, we'll just inspire and motivate more and more people. So rocket job. So I have the pleasure of introducing Wayne Chen of HowDeco. Kind of sounds like how did it go? HowDeco. It's a B2C platform which suppliers such as interior designers, home builders, realtors, furniture manufacturers, and retailers and realtors can interact with homeowners using 3D technologies. So help me welcome Wayne.
Good evening. I'm so happy to see so many people here. Thank you very much. We at HowDeco, as just showing up here, are committed to help homeowners to build their dream home. by using our 3D interior design software. We call it My Home 3D, and a mobile app in our web platform. That is the HowDeco.com. And why? Okay, so why we need to have a cloud design? I bet most of us here might have a wish that before you move into a new house, you will have a professional designer to help you to decorate your house. However, you all know it's pretty expensive. One time that I hired an interior designer, she counted her time when she left her home. Okay, and actually, it's very difficult to find a really professional interior designer local, even in Albany. And also, when you really want to buy your furniture, like you see here, before you step into, or when you step into the furniture store, there are so many good pieces of furniture there. But you have no clue how all these good pieces of furniture will look like. It's in your own home. Because 70% of the people, they do not have the ability to imagine in 3D. So here is our solution. We have developed a software online, which is free, and everybody can get access to through their PC. And you can do it yourself, or you can invite interior designers online to help you to make your dream home. After you have your own house designed, then you can synchronize into a virtual home into your mobile device, such as iPhone, iPad. This way that you can keep, as a platform, we can keep all these customers on our platform all the time until his or her house sold. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how this cloud design software works. This is an appetizer. Well, sorry, it's in Chinese because our software now is working in China. I didn't really have time to translate it in English yet, but it's a 3D. So when you get into our website, you will see all kinds of designs in different styles. All these pieces of photos are generated using our software. So when you look at this, if you like any piece of furniture, you can click to find out where you can buy. And if you are not like the one you see, you can do your own, like the way you're saying. First, what you do is you can find your developer's site, get out your floor plan, and you can, using your floor plan to start doing your own design. As I said, you can also invite the online interior design to help you. So this is a process, very simple, very efficient. So you can simply just drag all the pieces of the furniture into your room to see in 3D. And you can also rotate. You can changing the color of the floor and the wall and everything. And then you can also do one by one. And we have actually a feature in our software that you can do one-time design. What it means is, if you see some good design online already, if you like it, you can just click and bring all these designs into your own room, like this. Okay, you can design room by room, and you can view the whole house yourself. And then after you design, you can also take a virtual photo, like this one you see. You can adjust the angle, level, and it will generate a photo within 10 seconds, as you can see here. It's photo-like. So, and you can also changing your design, and you can refresh the design. It's very simple. And after you generate your photo, you can download it, you can print it, you can share to your friends, like this one. So it's pretty simple, and as I say, it's a photo quality, so it's good enough, like you see here. And more importantly, when you like, if you found something you like, you can find where to buy it immediately, because all the models that we use are from manufacturers. so as I said, when you design your house, you can synchronize your design into your mobile devices. So next I'm going to show you how you can use your device to play your virtual houses by, whenever you want to remodel, when you want to change your furnitures, that's what you can do. It's all in 3D. It's in 360 degree. It's a very high quality rendering, and all the furnitures you can see, you can buy, because when you click the plus sign, on the right side it will show all kinds of brand and the different models that you can buy from. So it's a pretty simple, and actually it helps the furniture manufacturers to sell their pieces of furniture as well. So, and everything, as I said, when you click, you can always find where to buy. Like here, you can many different type of pieces of furniture you can look along. Okay, so we basically want to bring all these players in the furniture industry, such as homeowners, interior designers, decos, and the furniture manufacturers or resellers, into our platform to serve really the homeowner, which we really want to help. And as a result, you really get is a big data what we call, because you would have thousands of floor plans, and you have millions probably of designs by interior designer, and with real furniture that you can buy. So this is the platform that we are generating, and the good news is that we have been working now with TMO in China. Okay, so the market actually in the US alone is huge. It's a $200 billion furniture market. And all the furniture suppliers can be our partner to help, to work with interior designer to help our homeowners. And now, many interior designers or decos or decorators or furniture manufacturers, they are really isolated. They have lots of troubles to find each other. So with the platform that we have, we could bring them together to really, again, to serve the homeowners. Of course, when you have a big market, you always have competitors. We do have a couple in the US, like Home Styler, which is really from Autodesk, and a Civil Home, I think, is from Canada. Okay, so we actually have been working this on for 7 years, but in China. And it has been working, but our purpose here is really trying to bring this technology into the US. Because US furniture industry is as big as in China. And in China, we have been partnership with Alibaba. I guess you all know Alibaba, which has just had a big IPO last year. And we have a couple awards in last year. So we have Tech Launch Beijing Final, the fastest company in China, most innovative company 50. And then we registered HowDeco in New York State last year, 2014. And then we have a team of 5 now working on this. We are looking for some team members to join us. And of course, we will be happy to have some investors to kick in some money so we can enhance our team. We can start promoting our products, and we can really work with some of the manufacturers, as well as we can build some infrastructure such as servers to help us to grow. Thank you very much. Yes. Last year, actually, we have more than 1 million Chinese yuan, which is about like $150 US. But this year, our goal in China is actually 20 million Chinese yuan, because we have signed up many furniture manufacturers. Because this can really help to sell. I believe so, yes.
So do you make money to get a cut of they buy furniture and interior designer decorates there?
That's our model. Yes, we cut a piece of commission from all the service providers, interior designer, decorator, and furniture manufacturers.
Who generates the data for the pieces of furniture? The manufacturers, or do you have to build?
We provide the technology. provide the dimensions, they have to provide the photos. So we can use our software to generate the model.
All right, great job, Luke. Up next is Somml Health. We're going to be listening to David Wood and Kurt Lozier. Somml Health enables hospitals and providers to track and engage patients with meaningful and actionable information.
Hi, how are you tonight? I have to hold this very close, I see. My name is David Wood, and my partner Kurt Lozier over there. We are Somml Health, and we are developing a mobile application and platform to engage patients with real-time clinical information that educates and empowers them to achieve better health outcomes. A big mouthful. You will be seeing more and more about patient engagement in the newspaper. It really is a trend that's going on in healthcare. Why? Studies have shown that better patient engagement leads to better health outcomes and lower costs. So how did we get to this problem? Well, we've been working at Albany Med since last year on adding patient engagement for their website. And we've been pretty successful, correct? Oh, that washes out nicely. So, from our, that's my intent. So, from our experience of talking to patients.
Can you all hear me if I talk like that?
All right, then I'll do better then. From our experience in talking to patients and families when we're out trying to get them to use our website, we have learned that patients deeply crave information. Now, anyone who has had a family member or themselves has been in the hospital totally understands this. They've spent time trying to track down or find out information on what's going on in their health. And hospitals also are caring more and more about getting good information and better results for patients because Medicare is creating really, really big penalties, well, they call them offsets, to healthcare dollars. This year it'll be over $2 billion. What does that mean for an individual hospital? You could actually lose all of the margin you have if you don't have good results. One of our advisors called it pay for perfection. So, what does the market look like, which you can see up there, which is said is 10 billion? It's really growing rapidly. Mobile health is, according to Healthcare IT News, from 2012 to 2018, is growing from a $1 to $10 billion marketplace. And what about consumers? 80%, according to FICO, 80% of consumers would like to interact with their physicians and care providers utilizing smartphones. I found more interesting is that 69% of them would like reminders for taking medicine. So this all really adds up to what we see as a responsive market with customer buy-in and room to grow. So how do we serve this market? We see, much better, not washed out, huh? We believe there are three very important components to a successful solution. Patient buy-in, families that get to support them, and clinicians and teams that embrace the solution. And how are we going to make that happen? Real-time information for patients from hospital systems and education information to help them talk to their doctors about their care plans. That is not only effective, but it's effective to the individual person because they understand the outcomes so they can help themselves in the long term. Families that know how to support those patients because they have information on how the patient is doing and on what they should be helping with. And for care providers, it's providing information that doesn't overburden them, but they know when they need to support individual people so that they can help people have better outcomes. So,
where are we? We are just starting our pilot at Albany Med, and to show that early engagement will lead to better long-term use. So our team. Both Kurt and I are serial entrepreneurs. Kurt was a founder of Power Ads along with Bob Gotthard somewhere in this room, and I was actually led the first 2 runs of financing for that company so many years ago. And he went on to work for a number of companies, and last was the head of digital for Dow Jones Local Media. I have bought, sold, and run a number of companies, and the last one was I just sold a company that I was a founder of about 10 years ago, which was Blue Slate. We are supported by a tremendous team of advisors that really does not fit onto this page. At Albany Med, besides Kevin and Amy, we have Louis Philhauer, who's the Senior Vice President of Quality, and Dr. Blinkhorn, who is the Chairman of Medicine, who are helping us with our project. And we have 2 wonderful interns, Kira, who is a first-year med student and a PhD, and Stephen, who's an MBA candidate over at Union. So, no extra PowerPoint slides, thank you. So, honestly, I am really humbled to work with this group. It is an amazing group of people, and we're really working on an important problem. We are self-funded to date, and like any good entrepreneurial company, we are looking for funding. Sometimes we'll pick it up, but we're always looking, and we'll pick up right now. And we are looking specifically for technical and business talent and additional advisors over the next year, and hope you will either consider working for us or referring people that you may know. You know, I can't, you know, I've done a lot of things in my life, and Kurt also, but I've never really had the opportunity to do something that really I see as so important. Finding out how to take any small part of that healthcare problem and solve it, being able to reduce costs, lead to better outcomes, is so important. And I would really like the community's buy-in in helping us do this, and hopefully being involved. Thank you so much for your time. Hi. Yes. So that's a really, really big question, and there are a number of things that you need to do with that, and that's why we have a team of people that we're working with several other companies that are part of us. It's all about where you store your data and how you maintain compliances. Yes?
Do you see medical niches that you're going after first versus later, where engagement and reminders or whatever are more important in certain niches than others, like cancer versus mental health?
So the answer is yes, and again, Esther will kill me if I go more into that, but I mean, we think that there are certain niches that provide easier starts. Part of our pilot is to go from what we think is the important thing. One of the things, though we are an applicant at Albany Med's back, and as part of that, we've got unprecedented access to work on this. The idea is really to move into where can we be most successful. Any other questions? Yeah.
Alrighty, up next, ThermoAura. ThermoAura uses nanotech to unleash the potential of thermoelectrics for transformative solid-state cooling and heat electricity generation. And to help me welcome Rutvik Mate.
Well, okay, good evening everyone. I'm very happy to be here and present and introduce ThermoAura. I'd like to thank Jason and Esther for inviting us to StartUp Tech Valley. It's really amazing to see this room filled with people interested in the startup community over here. So, let's talk about ThermoAura. ThermoAura as a company is very different from the stuff you've seen so far. We are a hard tech company, a nanotech company. So what do? We really do 2 things very well. One is making nanomaterials, right? We make materials that are nanostructured. Basically, this means that the building blocks of the materials are about 1,000 times smaller than the thickness of a human hair. Okay, that's how small they are. So that's basically what we do. We make nanomaterials in a scalable manner. And we apply them for a technology which is called thermoelectrics. And I'll tell you what thermoelectrics are all about. So this is basically what a thermoelectric device looks like. I think everyone in this room is familiar with solar cells. You know, you have a material, takes light, converts it to electricity, no moving parts, correct? Thermoelectrics, thermo for heat, electricity is electricity. They take heat and convert it to electricity. Same thing like a solar cell. No moving parts, it's just a material, produces that energy conversion. Now, if you take a solar cell and you apply electric current to the solar cell, it won't light up like an LED, right? Solar cells only work in one direction. Thermoelectrics, on the other hand, you can take a thermoelectric device, pass an electric current through it, and one side will heat up and the other side will cool down. Vice versa conversion of electricity into a thermal gradient. Basically, the thermoelectric, not the heat pump. So you see, thermoelectrics can act as a heat to electricity generator, but at the same time as a cooler. So it's portable, it's all solid state, it's just a material, it's reversible, it's green, there's no greenhouse gases or ozone-killing coolants, right? So why aren't thermoelectrics as ubiquitous as solar cells? You see them everywhere. The main reason is that thermoelectrics have low efficiencies, typically less than 10%, and that sort of relegates them to a niche, right? The current market for thermoelectrics is around $1 billion a year, and the market potential, if you could improve efficiency just by 5%, is multifold. You could have thermoelectrics generating, electricity from waste heat in your car. 70% of the energy of, in gasoline is just burned out your car's exhaust. You could recover energy from waste heat in power plants, in your homes. You could power sensors and electronic devices with your body heat. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. So how do we make thermoelectrics more efficient? The most powerful way to do that is by nanostructuring. That's where the nanostructuring comes from. You use nanostructuring to enhance the efficiency of this clean energy technology. And that begs another question. It's always been very hard to make nanomaterials at large scales, right? You need clean rooms which cost billions of dollars, or you need a lot of investment in plant and capital. Nanomaterials are generally very hard to scale up. Thermoelectrics are used in ton-scale quantities. You have to make nanomaterials at that scale. That's difficult. And that's pretty much what we do. At ThermoAura, our core manufacturing technology allows you to make these nanomaterials for thermoelectrics at cost lower than what non-nanostructured boring materials are, and you get the nano performance. This basically, in a sense, summarizes our technology. Conventionally, the way you make materials is what I call the mine, melt, and make method. You mine some stuff, you melt it at high temperatures, you cast it, you do all kinds of processing on it. Now, our technology is simple. It's basically microwave cooking, for crudely. Take some raw materials, cook it in a microwave, in one step you make nanomaterial. Low cost, inexpensive, and you get the nano performance. It captured a lot of interest originally when we invented this first at RPI, and I'd just like to give you an idea of what this tech looks like. Can someone click to make this play? As you can see, you have a bunch of chemicals. That's a, $40, $60 microwave you can buy in a department store. It's a real-time video. You just cooking, put a timer on. Naturally, do not do this at home. Crazy science experiment. But you can see how the color goes from a colorless solution to this black solution, right? And basically, boom, in 1 minute, we've made nanocrystals. It's as easy as heating water in a microwave. We make nanocrystals in as much energy as it takes to make a cup of coffee. It's a very clean, efficient process. It's all done in ambient atmosphere. There's no specialized equipment. Now, imagine, this is what we originally invented in the labs at RPI a few years ago. It's nice on paper, right? You still need to scale this up and make them in nanoscale. The potential is there, and that's what we've done at ThermoAura. Now, you take this black solution, dry it, you get a powder. That's basically our product. It's this nanocrystalline aggregate. You take the powder, you can compress it just by using pressure into a wafer. Once you do that, that material is basically ready for assembly into a device. So our products are these wafers and powders, and we use it to sell it to our customers. That's our model. Now, as I mentioned, we need to start at gram scale from the lab and reach the ton scale, right? That's what we need to do. So it's been a fun journey for us. We actually designed a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility which actually uses microwaves. It's probably its only kind in the world. And we just unveiled our new plant in Colony, of all places, in New York in December, in fact. It was a pretty exciting day for us. We had a bunch of dignitaries who came and helped us open the plant. And I have some snapshots of the plant in operation. One benefit of working with us is you get to wear this Breaking Bad style stuff. Basically this, what we do, as I said, is this chemical manufacturing, right? So we have this plant right now. So where are we right now and what are we looking for? As you can see, this is our core team, a small team, a lot of people from RPI, we have graduates from the Nano School, from Cornell. Our team has done a lot very quickly to actually scale state-of-the-art nanotech from the lab to an actual full-scale manufacturing plant. Now, if you look at this hierarchy of positions, it's just a bunch of same face everywhere, right? So we're looking to expand, we're at a point where we need to grow, and if you really want to work in a fast-paced environment, make nanomaterials, cook stuff in microwaves, do give us a call. To summarize what we do again, we make nanomaterials with a new process, the only kind in the world that use microwaves to cook stuff at that scale, use a nano to improve thermoelectrics and, make our customers happy.
So you mentioned improving above 10% efficiency. Do you have any kind of statistic for us what you're getting?
Yep. So our materials currently give an improvement anywhere from 25 to about 40% over the current industry. That's where we are. Yes?
Can we use nanomaterials to build the next generation of buildings or roads or infrastructure?
Yes, but the question again comes on cost. It makes sense only if the cost question is answered, which is why our focus is on getting that manufacturing cost of nano down. In fact, we make the nano stuff cheaper than the coding on nano stuff. It's pretty unique for nanotechnology in our case. You had a question?
The barriers of entry, other than a microwave and a yellow soup.
Very good. Those are the easy ones. Actually, there's a lot of proprietary chemistry that's underlying this technology. You saw that clear solution, right? Now, what that clear solution is, you never see me say it in public because it's a big proprietary secret of ours. Some of this tech is patented. There's a lot of processing know-how. If somebody wanted to just blindly copy this, it wouldn't be that easy. So.
Is there required IP?
Yes, we have, so the tech was invented at RPI. RPI has patent, we licensed it ourselves. The company's inventor founded. So myself and the two professors, we the inventors, and we started the company for it.
Or RPI owns the property?
IP? Yes. Anything you do at RPI owns it. We've licensed it. We are exclusive. But the IP alone is not enough. There's a lot of processing know-how. It took us 2 years just to take that from the lab. Yes.
Do you see yourself as a bulk supplier, or do you have any products in plan?
Good question. Right now, our main business is, yes, we supply these finished wafers as bulk materials. Eventually, obviously, we plan on making stuff from our own technology. It's one step up the chain. Actually, that's not the only thing. We make many different types of nanomaterials. We aren't limited to just thermoelectrics.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gina O'Connor, and I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at RPI's Lally School of Management. So this is a little bit of a public service announcement. I'm not trying to start a company or any such thing, but it's really great to see all this stuff going on here. The news that I'm here to share with you is just that, as you may be aware, RPI's business school is 50 years old last year, and our strength has been in our MBA program. And over the last 5 years, we've added a number of specialized master's degrees. But the news that I want to talk about just for a minute here is that we are now bringing those master's degrees to a part-time program. And so anybody who is interested in that kind of partnerships with companies both for projects that our students are doing in these programs, because they're all very experiential in their nature, but also sort of to recruit potential students from the community, and also for job placement. So generally, the suite of programs is about the management of technological innovation and the technologies associated with management. You'll see business analytics, supply chain management, and a quantitative finance program, all that are very technical and analytical in their nature. And then the other three, the MBA, the MS in management, and particularly for this crowd, our Masters in Technology, Commercialization, and Entrepreneurship are all about management of tech innovation. So again, just as sort of an announcement for you. And again, it's really great to see you all here. Thank you.
Well, that was the blatant advertisement we stuck in, so hope that's okay. It's great to see this. Just some other things coming up. Hack Up State is April 11th and 12th. It's a hackathon to Mitchell Patterson, if you know Mitch. Runs out in Syracuse. It's a lot of fun. AT&T Civic App Challenge that we announced last time is still running. So I saw there were about 56 individuals entered. Make sure you get on that if you're thinking about it. And then New York Biz Lab, which was one of our sponsors, is running an open house on April 21st. I think there's also a hackathon associated with the Civic App Challenge that's happening on April 18th. So again, thank you to our sponsors. I thought they were on there. But thank you again to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do this without you. Drive safe. Sorry for running a little bit late.